Hey, this is KB. I'm a technologist, thought leader, and self-published author. I've been publishing ebooks, print books, audio, video, and other content online since 2015. I stumbled quite a bit, tried many different types of content, marketing strategies, software tools, and social media streams. Now I'm here to help you learn from my mistakes and find inspiration along the way. We'll take a journey together to leverage your content, dive into practical tips, and test out actionable strategies that move you from posts to profit. This is the Self-Pub Empire Podcast. Hey, welcome back to the Self-Pub Empire Podcast. Today, I'd like to talk about something that I've done that isn't exactly an official Kindle Direct Publishing thing. You can do a bunch of things to make this work, and really it's about branding. So today, it's really about creating an imprint for your self-publishing book by creating a brand, Kindle Direct Publishing. I think you'll really enjoy it, so stay tuned. Repeatedly, after I mention that I self-publish books online, people are amazed, intrigued, interested, maybe impressed. I don't know. Sometimes they seem to be just shocked as well. Doing this for many, many years now, I don't actually think about the process really that much. And it is easy to forget that I really learned a lot of things the hard way through trial and error and work to try to figure out how to make the system work, what happens when you do certain things in Kindle Direct Publishing and things like that. And then, of course, expanding out to the other publishing pieces or the other publishing places that I use, such as Draft to Digital. I use that as well. And learning on Kindle Direct Publishing really, really helped with Draft to Digital as well. And so I've done a lot of trial and error, and I really hope that this podcast will give you a few of my tips and tricks really on an overlooked aspect of self-publishing, which really, again, holistically at a high level is about a brand. Specifically, this is about an imprint of your brand, which is what is this published under? And it's really it's a theme. So I'm going to talk about creating that imprint today. You can do a number of marketing and branding actions, and you can therefore create an imprint for your series of books. Authors who manage to create a captivating imprint brand for their book or series master the art of really drawing those readers into their masterpieces, their work, the things that they really, really like. I know that there's some self-published authors out there. I'm going to start hopefully being able to interview them. I'm going to start reaching out and having interviews of some self-published authors that are successful. And branding with an imprint is taking that branding step, one more level. Take that a little bit further, take it a little bit further along and create an imprint. And you can do this all in a Kindle Direct Publishing. And really it's really not actually that hard, but it does help a lot. So compelling publishing brand signals a certain amount of professionalism in your work, and it's kind of becomes your quiet herald in the literary world. This is your imprint of work, and these are the types of books that you publish under that imprint. Hey, I want to tell you about something. Change the topic. I don't know about you, but I like things for free, and I put together a free guide to getting started on Kindle Direct Publishing. This guide is many pages of packed material for free for you to get started and writing your own book and using Kindle Direct Publishing to do it. There's a lot of tips and tricks that I jammed into this document. It's a free ebook, and you can find it on the website, selfpubempire.com/free. All you gotta do is put your email address in there, and we'll get you that free book as soon as we possibly can through the magic of the interwebs. And so I hope you enjoyed the free book. Please give it a try. I think you'll find out, judge for yourself, that it's very useful information. I've been publishing books in Kindle Direct Publishing for many years now, and I think this will help you because I ran all kinds of pitfalls, and maybe I can help you avoid a few, and you can get your book out, your masterpiece, out to the public, out to your fans, and have something there that will be out on Amazon for the ages. And remember, with Kindle Direct Publishing, it's all print on demand. So there's absolutely no inventory needed, and Amazon will basically sell it for you. So go ahead, get out there, selfpubempire.com/free, and check it out. It's the first entry there for the free Getting Started with Kindle Direct Publishing. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so consider this. Readers really often judge a book by its cover, and an imprint is really an integral part of that first impression. An analysis by Readsy.com reveals the books with professional branding see a roughly 35% increase in sales compared to those without. So your imprint helps serve as your stamp of quality and uniqueness and setting the tone for what readers can expect. So keep in mind that there's nothing legal, there's not a lot of legal implications here. You can do with your business, if you're running it as a business, you can do a doing business as. You don't really have to do that. Much like the title of a book, an imprint really is a title of almost like a series or a title of a group of books. It's just a way to help organize mentally in your fans' minds what this particular type of book is about. If you really are writing a lot of books, and I've published a lot of books because I've got a few folks that work with me and create books, we actually have a couple imprints. So there's K Square. We've got that. I'll talk about that a little bit later. We've got the Senior Dummies books, but that's kind of not an imprint by itself. It's more of just a brand. And Boiled Down Basics is another series of books, which are the summary books that I have about classic literature and business books that we have as well. And that summarizes those things. And so K Square is really an imprint. That's an artistic imprint. There's a lot of things underneath K Square that are poetry, art, coloring books, things like that. That's under that K Square imprint. So at a high level, here are the items that you really want to do to take these steps to create a powerful imprint. And some of these are creative and others are really just hard work, just putting it together. So you want to create a memorable brand. What does that really mean? I'm going to dive into that. Create a series in your KDP bookshelf. So in your KDP space online, you create a series. So you want to have that series really be your imprint. You don't have to, again, or you can, but really a series works as an imprint. But it also, of course, works specifically like if you have a series of fantasy novels, certainly that would be your series that you'd want to create there as well. I recommend creating a Facebook page or a social media presence for it. That's an important branding item no matter what you do anyway, so something you might want to consider. And certainly, last but not least, and I really could talk about this for a very long time, is to create an A+ content page on Amazon. That's actually a little tricky. There's some really odd pieces with that, and there's some very strict rules, but it is extremely powerful. You can provide so much information on an A+ content page on Amazon that it's really impressive. It's almost like having your own web page of its own. And I will dive into that definitely a little bit further. All right. So now that we have the outline, let's break this all down piece by piece, one at a time. Number one, creating a memorable brand. You should do this anyway. This is really something you should do anyway. But you want to think about it in an imprint perspective. For an imprint, you want to think about it from that level. It's a little higher than a brand. It's more of a collection of types of books at a higher level. And I was going to comment before. I'm going to comment later on. Really, the imprint is more of a type of book as opposed to this is a specific series, but they are related. But you want to create a brand identity. You really start by crafting a mission statement. You can do that in your head. You don't have to write it down, but you want to craft like a mission statement for your imprint that really encapsulates the essence of your books, whether it's thrilling novels, heart-wrenching, romances, nonfiction, something that helps people, self-help. The identity should reflect the core themes and values of the work. This book imprint has these kinds of things. And the K Square imprint is a great example. It has a lot of different artistic things, poetry, art, those kinds of things, stories, fiction. That's what the K Square imprint is really all about. So that's not a series because they're not really related as a series directly, but they're an artistic imprint. And that's the whole point of that. Second piece of that memorable brand is to create a logo, a design, something that you want to do for sure, with even in just a regular series, but certainly at the imprint level, you want to create a memorable logo. I recommend investing in a professionally designed logo that captures the spirit of that brand. Stats from canva.com, love canva.com, suggest that brands with a distinctive logo can increase consumer attention by up to 80%, something that looks professional. There's a lot of ways to do it. Canva actually is one of the ways you can create something that looks very professional, but do it on your own without having to spend a lot of money. That's not a bad thing at all. This way, if you have a professional logo, you can use that across all platforms and editions and anything else that you use. And you're going to want to make sure you put it on the books and make sure that it's in the series. And you can use that repeatedly over and over again. And so people recognize it as part of your brand. It's your imprint and brand. And I've said this before, but you might want to engage with a professional designer. There are many, many out there. There's a lot of sites that you can use to engage with one, onshore, offshore. Fiverr.com is mostly offshore. I'm not paid by Fiverr. I'm not paid by Canva. Those are just some of the possibilities that you can use to go and get something that looks very professional. There are professional logo designers out there as well that strictly do that. And there are some sites, hosting sites, like I use Squarespace, will help you with a professional logo creation with some free, royalty-free pieces that you can put together to make that actual look very professional. And honestly, the Self Pub Empire podcast logo, that logo is actually created from one of Squarespace's tools that they had online, which I really enjoyed it. It was very simple and it looks really good in my opinion. Maybe I'll have it redone sometime in the future, but I like it for now. So that's really creating a memorable brand. I could talk on this a very long time, but that's the idea. The second thing is, this is the work part of it, right? Create a series on your Kindle Direct Publishing bookshelf. This is important. I recommend really making sure you get used to doing this. Series are really nice to do in Kindle Direct Publishing and very powerful tool just in general, whether you're going to do an imprint or not, or you have a series of books, novels per se, that tie together and flow together. It's really powerful to create that series. Hey, I want to switch topics for a quick second here. And I want you to listen to the sound of my voice and pay close attention to how it sounds, the tone, the pitch, those kinds of things as I'm speaking to you right now. So listen to my voice, see what you think, and there. Do you got it? Do you remember how that sounds? Okay, now listen to this. Okay, how about now? Listen again to the sound of my voice. Can you tell a difference? I kind of hope not, because I'm using something called Resound.fm. It is my absolute favorite helper tool for creating podcasts. And really for any kind of audio that I record, I use Resound.fm to make it better, make it smoother. And so the reason I had you listen to this, the first part and this second part separately, potentially, second part, if you can tell where that break was. The first part, I was using my relatively fancy, not extremely expensive, but very nice microphone hooked up to my computer. And I made that audio with the microphone. The second part here, which I'm speaking to you with right now, I'm using my earbuds and my smartphone. It's absolutely amazing. I took the two pieces of audio, put them together, and ran them through Resound, especially the magic enhance button, and it smooths out the audio for me, making it almost seamless and not very different from the two different recording devices. Frankly, I love the freedom of recording podcasts using my earbuds, and Resound.fm makes it super, super easy. It's fantastic. It will also take care of all your oohs and ahs and other extra sounds that you don't want in your audio. And you can use it for audiobooks. Well, like I said, podcasts. You can optimize your audio for YouTube videos and really just about anything that a creator would want to use for audio to make that work better and make it sound better, make it sound much more professional. Made by professionals or a professional podcast itself, and using artificial intelligence to make it work really, really well is great. So check it out at selfpubempire.com. selfpubempire.com/resound. That's selfpubempire.com/resound. Check out what I think about it there on that page and click the link and try it for yourself. See for yourself. Thanks so much. We'll switch topics again here. Kindle Direct Publishing Bookshelf. It is really a quite simple step in KDP. And on other platforms, it's not quite as official or easy to do, but you can kind of do some of the same things out there. But we're going to focus on Kindle Direct Publishing today. And, perfectly fine, great way to do it. So really all you got to do is go to your KDP bookshelf and click to create an Amazon series page. This is where you want to create a memorable description that will help set the tone for your series. And that series, of course, will become your imprint again, depending on what you want to do. So that description is very important. It really does help set that tone. I'm kind of repeating myself now, but I want you to think about that. Before you create the series, before you hit the button, think about what you're going to say. Think about what that description is going to look like. So the next part of this is really to clarify that series versus an imprint. My advice is to use that series of page, of course, as an imprint, as we've been talking about. However, you can have multiple series under one imprint. So consider search engine optimization with a solid imprint brand if you're writing about many series of books, like several trilogies or things like that. I want to make sure that I try to clearly define what I'm saying here. An imprint is really a larger bucket of things, of different series of books. If you feel you want to just focus on series of books, if the only thing you're going to write are fantasy novels, then you really just want to create a series for a trilogy of books or 12 books or whatever it is that you're going to do. And so you create that as a series, and you don't necessarily need to create the series as an imprint. The imprint itself could still be done because you can add that logo and branding to the book. However, the truth of the matter is an imprint really is a larger brand at the higher level. So people might be confused by that, but I wanted to make sure that was clear. All right, great. So you've got your series and you created that and it's on Kindle. Awesome. What's the next thing? Create a Facebook page or a social media presence or both, or really that's what the Facebook page is. You're going to want to select something and make sure you've got it. I think a lot of authors, certainly self-published authors, definitely create those Facebook pages to create a bit of a community. There's a bit of an automatic community baked into that. That's great. So really a website or a Facebook or a bio page or a Pinterest board, a lot of those things are useful, especially if you have a lot of artistic work that you want to showcase. Pinterest is really great. Those posts last a long time. Social media is very powerful, but it can be very fickle. And everyone wants that viral video. But the truth is that consistent and engaging posting wins the day over time, pretty much across the board. It really has the best odds of success. And social media posting really is, yelling to the masses and yelling out into the space and void and hoping somebody hears you or passes it on to someone else or likes it or shares or subscribes. Those things do happen. So that consistently posting, and I'm not great at it either. So I recommend some tools, and I'll be recommending tools later on that I'm using and testing out to do that for you to manage your social media. Really, really is a powerful way to do it, to create that consistency. Here's where we segue into the idea of the imprint itself. That consistency across platforms is really where the imprint will give you more of what you want. You can create a Facebook page, for example, for the imprint itself. K-Square has one of its own. You can find it out there. And it is a very nice way to do some kind of a community out there. And Facebook has a lot of tools that you can use for that. And of course, they'll want to sell you advertising and things like that. Perfectly fine. If you want to do that, that's up to you. But you can create a Facebook page that has your imprint on it. And so this way, if you want to make sure that's consistent, then you put that on there. If you have a Instagram account associated with it, you want to post there, make sure that your brand is consistent. Your imprint is consistent across all those marketing materials, all the social media profiles. If you have a website, make sure it's there. Your book covers, make sure that that brand is there as well. According to Lucid Press, consistent brand presentation really has been shown to increase revenue by up to 23%. And that is about going from posts to profit here, right? I mean, I'm always alluding to that. I'm always stating that. It's saying, I have this, I'm going to hit social media and tell everybody about it, but I'm going to be consistent. And I want to go from posts actually generating profit with my books or whatever it is that I'm creating and selling online. So social media, Facebook, this is an enormous topic. It's a huge topic, but being able to use an imprint certainly and consistently use that imprint on those social media platforms, that's going to be very powerful. Schedule your social media platform out, do some planning, do some marketing thoughts. Those are great tools to use, those social media tools. It's all free, but of course, everybody knows that they're free. So everyone puts that information out there. So you have to stand apart. Could do a whole podcast on that. I'm going to do that certainly in the future to talk about branding and awareness per site, website, Facebook, Instagram, so on and so forth. I'm going to do those as well because that helps creators in book publishing, authors, self-publishing authors to do their work. Great. So that's create your social media presence and list your imprint with it. That's part of your brand. We're going fast here and we're on the last one for right now. Create A+ content on Amazon. Oh, I think a guide on this is probably useful. Boy, did I struggle with this when I first did this for the Senior Dummies line of technology books to help seniors with technology. I truly struggled with A+ content. I did not know what I was doing. I read the documentation online and I still struggled. There are lots of rules. However, this is a huge positive. Under marketing in your KDP bookshelf area, there's an option to create what they call in there A+ content. This is really extended description information in a visual form. It can include images, text, and those really cool comparison tables that are out there on Amazon for other products. This is huge. This is enormous. The comparison table, there's a way to do it. It creates a grid and you can note different aspects of each kind of thing, and you can checkbox what it is or what it covers. And so in theory, if you have a book, especially for me, technology book, what kind of aspects of it? Is it large print? Check. Is it regular print? Check. It's a different one. Is it about Apple or iPhones? Is it about Android? Check, check, check. And you create this really cool grid to help a user understand, well, what book should I actually buy? You can go out on Amazon.com and go ahead and take a look for Senior Dummies, and you can find in any of the books, I have the A+ content on there, and it will show you that grid of table information that I created. Give it a look. I think it's really powerful. And then there's a creator that actually helps you do that. But I struggled with it. I'm not going to lie. I really struggled with it. But it's so cool. And you can create images and text, like I said. So that intention there is to engage readers with supplemental information that the normal description text box really can't do. I'm amazed that Amazon's letting self-publishing authors do this. I think it's a fantastic tool. I can't say enough about it. It's worth the time. Searches will need to scroll down on the page most of the time. That's the downside. They're not going to see it at the top. It's going to be on the scroll down. So to see that content, it does vary from item to item. Books, generally speaking, that comparison information, that is a little bit further down. However, when it's done right, you can make your book listing look extremely professional, and it'll drive more traffic to your other books as well. So if you have more than one, if you've got a series of novels, it'll drive more traffic there as well. A+ content feels like a topic that I could spend an entire podcast talking about and telling you about the issues that I ran into. Let's just put it this way. You have to start somewhere. I'd say get it started, open it up, give it a try, add some images, possibly with content pieces, make something kind of nice. Use Canva if you need to put things together. If you have some very nice artwork for your book, and really that's good enough to start with, and a little bit more description about what it is that the book talks about in an image format. And you'll actually find that it's really compelling. So creating A+ content on Amazon is a very compelling tool. So I highly, highly recommend it. That is hard work. When I talk about some things are easy, which is the thought process of creating an imprint, versus some things are just plain old hard work, boom, A+ content is hard work. So For an imprint, we're going to go back. Let's review real quick. You want to create a memorable brand. You want to create a series in the KDP bookshelf. You don't have to, but it's very powerful to do it that way because it buckets those books together. You want to create some kind of social media presence that shows your imprint as well. And you want to make sure you try to create that A+ content on Amazon. I think you're going to find that to be extremely useful. Even if you don't want to create an imprint, that is very, very, very useful. We're going to talk about that sometime in the future. So your name, your brand logo, and start using it in a consistent way. Make it engaging, interesting, reusable, have it convey something about your books. I have the K-Square imprint. It's based in poetry and art. You can check it out on the Self-Pub Empire website. You can check it out on Facebook. It's K-Square. It has a consistent logo and a style that works for artistic work. And an imprint really is a great way to increase the impact of your brand marketing for your book. It also helps drive interest into your other books and other books that you might have as part of that people might be interested in and they didn't even know about. And it'll help make that connection between your book. It forces you also to think about your theme or themes about what you want to publish. And make sure you use your imprint logo on your book and all your book covers and wherever you want to in the indicia, the parts in the book that I can't pronounce that are inside. This is the about part inside the book. So imprints really can be a great way to add impact to your book branding and really can help you go from posts to profits. And I really certainly hope that this helped you go from posts to profits today as well and helps with your self-publishing and other creative endeavors. I really appreciate you taking the time to listen. Until next time, keep creating and go from post to profit. Thanks. Hey, congratulations. You just listened to another episode of the Self-Pub Empire podcast. I really hope you found something inspiring, useful, and actionable for your own entrepreneurial and business aspirations. Let's keep connecting as solopreneurs, authors, and online creators of all kinds. For more information, how-tos, great tools, and show notes for the show, head over to selfpubempire.com/podcast. Until next time, let's continue moving from posts to profit.